Okay, I don't know if this is actually the right time to make this video because I'm making it like right after the other one. Well, not right after. I washed the dishes and now I'm back. Um, I don't know why. Maybe it's the song I'm listening to, or maybe it like I don't know. I don't know, but I feel like I need to make this video because I don't know, because I want to. Like I like reminiscing. Like, cause I already like the last video I made was like a 10-year prediction in the future for like society and humanity and stuff like that. But now I'm kind of getting more sentimental and thinking about when I was going out with this one guy. I think I will not like okay, so I think I won't say their name. Um I mean, like, I think I've already mentioned their name before in some other videos, so, like, I don't feel like it's, like, being secretive at all. But, anyway, so there's this one guy. So it was back when I was living at the other apartment. And, I was feeling good. Like, I was working on Pixie Road. I was trying to do this. I'm like, I was being very productive or whatnot. So I decided, and I lived in that apartment for like a few months already, kind of like here, yeah. So, I was like, okay, well, maybe I should put myself out there. Like I'm alone. I could probably afford to date or hook up or something. Something. So I went and looked on Tinder or whatever, and I found this one guy. He was hot. I was like, okay, So he came over, and right when he came over, I was so blown away. Like, it was I just knew right away. Like, I kind of like I don't want to say like I became obsessed, but I was like this guy, and like he's not like a Brad Pitt or like he wasn't like extraordinarily handsome in like a generic sense, but he was like my type, So um and um and so much of the things he was interested or the things he was, I can't even say the things he was interested in, but the things that he was and the things that I like, we were actually kind of more compatible too, like because like I've been with guys who are just like, oh, they're hot, and like maybe it's like a fling, or like it's like a hookup or whatever, and that's like about it. That was not the, like, I don't know, I felt the zing with that one, and I was so attracted to him, and then like, and then he kind of like, looking back now, I think he kind of love bombed me or something. Like, okay, what should it say? His mentality and my mentality. Okay, so we're both very intelligent people, obviously. Like he's like he works with computers. I work like so much of what we did was so similar. Like, I mean, not like yeah, it was weird how like things were lining up with us. And also the thing is like, you know, um he was kind of proud of me too. Like, this is the thing that I like too. Is like he was, I don't know, like it was kind of like love bombing. Like, I don't want to be in the negative because I'm trying to remember the positives, like all these positive things that, like, I don't know, for whatever reason are like flooding back to me for some reason. But like it's like he was very proud of me. Like he wanted to take me around like people he knew, and like family members and stuff like, but it was like, because I'm very like, okay, so we do have a lot of similarities, but he's obviously more extroverted and I'm very introverted, so it was a lot for me to have that. And like, okay, fair enough, like everybody has their issues or problems they have to figure out. I think that was like a very benign one that, well, unfortunately, we never learned to overcome because other problems, more serious problems, happened later on. So it wasn't like we were able to get over some of these more minor problems. But the thing is also, the thing is that he made me feel like a kid. Like, it was almost like this high school romance that I never like, because I didn't date and like I didn't see anyone until I was 23. So so it's like, if it kind of felt like this very, like, it's not like, because we're older, right? We're both in our 30s, but there was this kind of like, it had that energy to it, right? And I just was really, really into him. Like, I felt like it made me happy because I never, like, because he gave me the hope that I could have, like, maybe like a normal, like, because it was kind of almost like the relationship that I always wanted. It was something that I imagined. It's something I wrote down, like the qualities of somebody that I wanted, the everything, like, well, not everything, like, people have flaws and stuff like that, and and obviously we broke up, so it didn't really last. But like, but just it just felt so good in that moment, and that's why I don't know if it's like limerence or love bombing, because like I'd be like work, like I was streaming at that time, like as well, like during, well, I don't think it was during the pandemic, but it was like a little after. But like like he would call me and be like, hey, are you hungry, do you want me to like order you something? And he'd go order something from like my favorite restaurant, and like even like order some, like he'd be like, what do you want? And I'd be like, oh, I want this, that. But then he would also like order something that, like, I don't even know how he knew, but like he ordered a little something extra that I actually really like, and I was like, oh, like, it was just like all this like care, and like he, like, very, like, he would like to feed me, like, and then we would go run around and do stuff, and then like, I don't know, like I felt like I had fun with him. And but he was different in some ways, like some of his interests were different, but we seemed to be compatible on a lot of things. And also, like, okay, so he was half Japanese, half Filipino, and I'm half white, half Latino. So we're like half jungle something and half fancy something. This was the immature and very damaging part within our relationship. Was, okay, so he very much identified with his like jungle Asian side, and he didn't know very much about his Japanese side. Controversially, when I was with him, I kind of like, I didn't really, like, it's not like I didn't identify with my Latin side, but it's like I just I've always been more white. Like, I'm obviously white, like, so like there was that whole aspect to me. And so how we kind of eventually started digging at each other was basically pointing out our inefficiencies in the other side that we, like, so like, because I know Japanese, he doesn't know Japanese. So he felt inferior in that way. But then he would make me feel inferior in, like, and like obviously, like, cuz like his type, or like he's really into Latinas and stuff like that. And obviously me being white, I'm not really a Latina enough for him. Like, it was all these kind of like petty things that, like, that was like not mature, not it wasn't good. But that's how we were starting to go down the wrong path. Was we kind of fed into, okay, so the motherfucker learned, like, okay, so he's like in cybersecurity and stuff like that for the police department and stuff like that. So um he studied like dark psychology. Well, he was trying to get out of that. He was trying to get into like it's so funny because I was looking at the same position too. I was debating whether I should get into productivity manager. So, and he had a book, and that's what he was going to school for. And I was like, so it was like, oh wow, that's fascinating. Like, because we didn't even discuss it. We just were both like, that sounds good, like, like, and but it was so nice because, like, I don't know, I felt like I had like kind of like a semi-normal, like, we enjoyed cooking together, like we liked food, and like we would watch movies, and like it was just like a really normal kind of existence. And and like, while he was studying, I'd make him a sandwich or something like that. We'd go for runs, go to the gym together, like, we just, like, it was nice. I felt very happy. And I also felt like maybe I also could get something that's like kind of normal. Like, I like, like, because before that I had like just a bunch of flings and people rejecting me and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, like, maybe this is it or something like that. Like, I was very hopeful, and I was happy. And even my mom and everybody were like, I don't think, looking back now, I don't think she was really that supportive, but like she did help me out, like, because maybe she saw something I didn't. I don't know. I really don't know because, like I said, I was just like I was glowing. I was so happy and all that kind of stuff, and I just adored him. I really like. A lot of people think that I'm very like I'm a frigid bitch and I'm too calculating and I'm too. When I'm with somebody who I actually like, when I'm with somebody I actually love, I'm actually very loving. I'm actually very like I'm also very submissive too. So like it takes a lot for me to get to that position, to trust somebody enough to be in that position, if that makes any sense. So yeah, like socially I am more dominant, or I'm very more assertive, or not even assertive, but like I'm more, like stoic. Also, that was another thing where like he loved like stoicism. He I didn't like the fact that he listened to Andrew Tate. I'm okay with Joe Rogan. That's fine. Andrew Tate, nah. And then he liked Ryan Holiday. And I like Ryan. Like, I was like, yeah, I like that too. That's cool. So like we like is that, but like there was this kind of like psychologically speaking, it did feel kind of like high school. Like there was a youthfulness about this whole entire relationship, but I liked that because it was like it refreshed me. It felt refreshing. But like everything, those feelings, and well, it wasn't even the feelings. Actually, those didn't die out for a while. It was that okay, so he had to go back to Japan for like I think it was like Obon or something like that. And I was like, it made me sad. Like he took me to a Japanese restaurant and he said, "Yeah, I'm going to go back for like a month or something." And I was like, like it made me feel sad. Like I was like I didn't like it, but I was like I get it. Like, I understand. And so I just like, and I to this day, and I wonder if he thought the same thing, because we had two options that day. We could have either went to the Indian restaurant, or we could have went to this. We went to the sushi restaurant. I wonder if he would have thought that if we went to the Indian restaurant, would that have gone down the same? I don't know. Um, like that's kind of like the butterfly effect. I wonder, like us going to the Japanese restaurant. I wonder if that influenced his decision or not. Like I don't know. I just feel it in my gut. Like I feel like he because like Inshin Denshin is a thing, like telepathy or whatever. Because we were like, you know, I do wonder if that would have changed anything, like even just slightly. Um, but anyway, so like he told me, and he like it's kind of crazy because like even the staff of the place kind of looked at me like, "Are you okay?" Like, because he's saying like he's gonna leave for a month or whatever, and I was like, and I took it. I was like, you know what, you do you. It's fine. And I even bought him like a shaving kit, like a little travel kit. Like I think it was his birthday or something. Like that's the thing too. We like bought each other gifts. It's like I don't know. It was a lot of good things, but but near the end it was like a lot of crappy shit. So anyway, he went to Japan, and I just kind of like I just decided to he did send me pictures and stuff like that. Like after a week or so, he sent me like a bunch of pictures and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, okay, like, so he wasn't lying. Um, and so, uh, so there was that, and so like I just kind of like I decided to put all my energy into like I was streaming and stuff. So I was working on my project. I was streaming and trying to promote that and do all that kind of stuff, and then and then he finally came back, and then we kind of resumed stuff, but then and like he would say some sort of stuff like, I'm gonna inherit my grandma's house over there, like maybe we could go move over, like cause yeah, I could speak Japanese, so he was like, you probably could live there, we probably could live there, it's totally fine, and he's the oldest son in his family. So I think he was like in line to get the house over there, and so he was like, kind of future planning with me. But I don't want to say like he was lying, but I wonder how, like, cause he's very Americanized. Like I said, he doesn't know Japanese. Like I know he probably would been okay over there. Like, it's not like, because like he's been over there several times, right? But like, you know, like, does he, like, it's one thing to visit somewhere and another to like live there for a long period of time, you know? So I always kind of questioned that. I was like, you know, like that would be so great for me, but I wonder, like, is that what you want? You know, because that's like I don't know, but anyway, like, but I was excited about that discussion, and anyway, it was like such a future thing that, like, I like, you know, we discussed it for a little bit, and then it didn't go, like, you know, like it was like, okay, look, way down the line, I guess, because you know we weren't seeing each other for that long, so it was like, okay, we could keep that in mind. Anyway, but then he started getting like okay, so then some of, like I said, like, you know, we had this kind of high school sort of like it was kind of cool because like a like we rearranged the furniture, like, you know, like we do a lot of things to get, that's what I really like too. It's like he was totally okay with like having me help him do like projects or something like that, and we planted some, like, you know, we planted some onions, we did, like, you know, I love that kind of stuff, like those are really good qualities, I love that kind of shit. um and you know, like, because he was kind of a leader, you know, like he, like, you know, he would, and it's not in an obnoxious way of like I know better, it's just like, hey, do you want to, like I said, like really in like a kind of high school way, kind of like, you know, you want to go play, like, you want to go do this thing with me, and I was like, sure, you know, like, you know, it was very innocent in a certain way. um and anyway, so um you know, but then like there was like on my stream, like I got an influx of like I don't know, I think he paid some bot thingy to like give me like 1,000 followers. So and something, and I mean, like, I was kind of appreciative, but then he started like kind of like lurking on my stream and stuff like that without me knowing, and I just feel it was a little like, okay, so like when he had, let's say, like when he had Zoom meetings with his coworkers or whatever, I'd stay in the back room, like I didn't want to interrupt him, right? I didn't want to peek in, or like, you know, it was none of my business, you know. And so like when he was coming into my stream, I don't know, like I felt, I think it's because he didn't discuss it with me. Like I know that's kind of like it wasn't really that bad of a thing because he was just trying to support me, but I felt like I wish he would have asked me first, or yeah, it was that whole thing of like I didn't like that surprise, you know, and like I do feel bad that I got really upset with him because of that, but that was like my real emotion, because I was like, because I was already struggling with people like harassing me on on Twitch, you know, because I don't have a manager, like I didn't have like mods or anything like that, so like I would just get a lot of like so like it kind of stressed me out, like even though it was a good thing, it like kind of made my stress higher. And and I feel bad because then he felt really bad about doing it, and it's like he really didn't do anything wrong. He just should have asked me first. That was the thing, and I was too stressed to like convey that to him. So like that was where we were. But like that's why I said like there's a certain immaturity in our relationship that like due to communication, it was a hard way to go about it. Um, and but this is the real kicker though, like this is when I was like fuck all of this, because I don't know, let's say 3 months later, like okay, then after that he was like, then he got really like sour, and he was like, you don't need to be on Discord, blah 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 blah, I'm the Discord, like, you know, like he was trying to like censor everything that I was on, and I was like, the fuck, yeah, like, you know, so like there was a bitter seed planted there, you know, because of a lack of communication. So and and also like I know, like, cuz like I said, like I'm not perfect, I'm not perfect at all, and even like with the fucking Russian dude, like I know that there's certain things that like he's a fucking crackhead and stuff like that, there was no way it was gonna work. but I do know there was some things that I could have done that would have, I don't know if it would have made it all better, but like I don't know, I get scared of meeting people's friends and family, like I and it shouldn't have been that way, because like, okay, so like with the Russian guy, like his fam, well, it's not his family, it's his friend's family, like basically it's like his home base here or whatever, reached out to me and was trying to contact me, but it freaked, like, because he didn't say anything to me, like about like I just saw like, okay, like, like, oh, mutual friends or whatever, like, so I was like, oh god, why are they contact, like, like I was freaking out, like I didn't know how to handle it, like I don't know, like that's my problem, that's 100% me, that's my problem, I don't know how to get over that. I do know, like, just based off of like my mind right now, I do know it's kind of a little bit well, obviously I'm insecure, that's the whole thing there. My insecurities left kind of like social wounds in that relationship, and like not just that relationship but the one with this guy that I'm talking about now, or the other one, like the half Japanese, half Filipino guy. Like, this is just like a problem that I have in maybe all relationships, is my insecurity sometimes doesn't allow me to socialize with the people that are important to the person who's important to me in the way that it should. But it wasn't that I didn't want to, it was just I didn't feel prepared, I felt very caught off guard, and because of how my actual family has made me feel over the years, I feel inadequate a lot, especially in social situations. So it was almost kind of like I didn't want the bubble to burst of like, like what if their family doesn't like me, or what if I don't like, like I don't know, just anxiety and insecurity, you know. So that was a problem then, there's a problem with him. So uh yeah, that's my problem. But where was I going with this? Oh, yeah, he wanted me to meet okay, so the Japanese Filipino guy wanted me to meet his brother, because his brother lives in Washington, but he sometimes comes down and visits him, because like they I think his brother owns a business, and like I don't know, like they do this whole thing of like Amazon pickup thing, like somebody orders something, and like I don't know, like they have packages going back and forth to each other and stuff like that. So he came and got something, like their family owns like a printing business too, so like there's just like different, like I don't know, spare parts or whatever, like, oh, I don't have money to get this like wrench or I don't know, like just something, and it's like, okay, I could get, like they work as a team. um anyway, so he was there, but also his ex-wife's, like, okay, so this is the thing. Okay, let me just point blank say it. The motherfucker was a player. Like, that was the only flaw he had. like he loved pussy too much. So okay, so he had a baby mom, like a possible baby mama who was a Scorpio that he wasn't gonna talk to, because when he saw the kid, he was like, that baby ain't mine. I don't know why he said that. Because like I think she was white too, and maybe it looked too white for him, and he was like, there's no way this baby, like, but that's like, that can happen genetically. You could have like a very, like, like, look at me and my family, like everyone's brown and I'm very, very white because of my dad. Also, my brother's dad is also white, but he came out brown. Like it's like you never know what you're gonna get with genetics, especially like on a multicultural family, or multi-ethnic family. Um, so that was kind of weird. And then he said, like, and then he had like this other person he was seeing, and then like that bitch was crazy apparently. Like, how they always say, like, if somebody's dogging on all their exes, there's probably something wrong with him. Like, it's that kind of thing. And then he loved his ex-wife, but like apparently they were divorced. He kept on saying that they were divorced and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, okay. But it sounded like they were only a couple months divorced and they were still going through stuff. And I was like, and like you know, like at the time, it wasn't like I was watching like dating advice videos or anything like that. So I didn't realize that that was actually a really big red flag. Well, for one, it would have been fine if the motherfucker was telling the truth. But like I said, 3 months later, he said, "Okay, I'm gonna go to Mexico with my ex because we bought tickets and we can't cancel anymore." And like, you know, blah blah blah. I'm like, the fuck? Like, okay, like why? Like, okay, there's only a few there's only a few reasons as to why you would go to Mexico with your ex. One, you have kids with her, and you're kind of doing it to like have a fun time with like a family vacation of some sort, right? But they don't have any kids together, so that's not the reason. Or two, you are not actually fucking divorced from her and you're lying to me, you know, and that you're still married, and that pissed me off so much. I slapped the motherfucker. I got so angry. I broke one of his candles. I like, you know, and he was like, "You can't do that" or whatever. And I was like, "The fuck I can," you know, like, you know, because I was already emotionally invested in this guy. I was super in love with him, and I just like, and you know, and it's like, it was gut wrenching betrayal for me. So like, yeah, no, it probably wasn't the right response. Maybe I could have handled it better, but that's how I felt. And I was just like, I was done at that point, and he felt all sorry, like I don't know, he felt some sort of way, and he was trying to make it work afterwards. I remember that text. Like he wanted, oh my god, I'm gonna cry because it was like I remember he was like trying to get back in my good graces, and I really wanted to see him again. But I knew that if I let this slide, more shit would go down. You know, like this wouldn't be the only time, you know? So I told him no. I told him no. And I wasn't even angry. I wasn't even anything at that time. It was just like I can't do it. Sorry. I really can't. And I don't know. And then we didn't talk for a good while. And then like a month later, he started dating this other girl, a Latina, like, and then like, well, okay, so like after a month, I actually reached back out to him because I was missing him. Like being desperate, being stupid. It was stupid. But then he said, I'm seeing somebody else now. And I appreciate that he said that. Like, let me put it this way. If he's faithful to that girl, then good, you know? She deserves like a normal fucking relationship. Me, the Scorpio girl, whoever, like, you know, we got the raw end of the stick. But if that motherfucker finally learned how to be loyal to somebody, even if it wasn't me, you know, I'm glad. I'm happy that he finally grew up. But it hurts, you know? And I, like, you know, I spiraled down. Like I lost my apartment. I had to go back and live with my mom. Well, it wasn't just because of him. Like he definitely took me down, but like also my dad. Like it was just like really bad timing. Like, okay, so I broke up with, or like I had to deal with that stuff with him, and then my dad called, and like there was like this crazy woman, like, oh, you know, like, so this Joe Carr called me and said, "Hey, your dad's trying to get a hold of you." And so my dad called, and he's rambling on like a crazy, you know, like shaman prophet thingy, or like I don't know, he's trying to, I don't know what he wanted at that time, but like but that's like a like I have a huge father wound with him, and like and he rattles my nervous system. When I was younger it was worse. Nowadays like I do get rattled, but like not for like weeks and weeks afterwards. It's more like just the day or whatever, because it's very toxic and unhealthy the way he communicates with me and the way he conducts himself mostly. I mean, I understand him. Like that's the crazy thing, cuz like we are genetically related. So like I do understand his brain chemistry, but I have enough sense not to like, I don't know, like we conduct ourselves differently. But also like, he was dealing like, I have issues with my family. He has issues with his family, so they're probably driving him a little crazy. But at the same time, you can't go to your like this is with both of my parents. They want me to save them. Like they want help constantly, and it's like ever since I was like 5 years old, so it's very unhealthy. Um, and like all these people, like it wasn't just my like it would be one thing if it was just my dad contacting me, but it was like this woman. Okay, so it was my aunt Deborah, it was this lady named Miyuki Harley. Like they're all telling me about like the situation that's going on with my dad, and like and also like he's like living in Hawaii. Like he did tell me that like several months back, he like randomly messaged me like, "Hey, I'm moving to Hawaii." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, what island?" And then like radio silence. Like he didn't say anything after that. So I was like I already know my dad's like kind of out there. So I was just like, okay, well, it's like, as long as he's happy, and and like Hawaii is a beautiful place. So I'm sure he's having a great time. Like, like Godspeed. Have a great life. Go do you. Um. So I was like, I was like, okay. Yeah, but then all this kind of stuff. And so like I had a mental breakdown because it's like I broke up. My dad's harassing me. All these other people are harassing me. Um, I'm having a hard time finding. Like I'm trying to apply to jobs downtown, but none of them seem to really fit. And like like I was just stressed to the max. So like I had a mental breakdown, and then eventually had to go back to Cedar Hills and stuff like that. I'm gonna say that that's the only time where it was really warranted. The other times that I had like breakdowns weren't really breakdown. Like uh I don't think I needed help in that way for those other things. But for that, I'm gonna concede to that during that time, yeah, I probably did need like mental health help at that time. Because I even tried reaching out to my sister-in-law at the time, but like she's like German and very like concise, and also she was going with her own problems, and she's just not like a good emotional support person. Like like a German therapist is not gonna be a good therapist, But yes, you are fitting to the pain. Now grow up. Like, um, so like it just didn't help, and then I also felt like I couldn't tell my mom, like, cause this is the horrible truth. I felt like I had to save, like it was like I had to save my mom from my dad because my mom is such an enabler. I knew that my if she got in contact with my dad, she'd do whatever he said. And so it's like I don't think she needs to be taken advantage, like, cuz like as much as this was hurting me, I didn't feel like she needed to be brought down either. So like, like so for me to have issues with my mom right now, like I said, this was not always the case. I used to be very protective of my mom. I used to really care about my mom, but like like but it was to my detriment, actually, because like my parents just play off of each other, and it's like I'm like their weird little fucking puppet that they just like fuck each other over with. So I'm done playing that game. I'm 36. I don't need to play that game anymore. You guys are done. But anyway, but this is like several years back anyway. But yeah, it was just like it was chaotic. And so I had a lot of different things happen, and I went through a lot. Like I really went through the ringer. And like but now I'm like, now I'm in a new apartment. Now I'm getting new stuff, and I mean, yeah, I'm going to have this issue this following week, and like yeah, the school thingy is not working out exactly right now, but it's only because I know it's only because of the fact that it like the school thing is not the issue. Like maybe I can, what should I say, I don't have the correct supports to, like, it's, what should I say? Like, the people who are helping me now, my mom, the ACT team, oh, like everybody around, don't actually want me to succeed. So me failing right now is actually part of their plan. Like, I know that sounds very conspiratorial, but like I said, people on the autism spectrum, or I don't even say like people on the autism spectrum, me. I can hear the underspeak of people. I can hear the fucking, like I've studied tonal language. I know the tone. I know, like you can't bullshit me. Like, bruh, like, okay. Like, okay. Yeah, I would like to be like a learned person and studied or whatever, but let's be honest. Let's be honest. I'm from Ventura, California. I grew up on that fucking avenue. Like my dad was a drug dealer. My mom was like that shit's in my blood. Let's put it that way. Like, I don't want somebody bullshitting me. Like, my brother is a fucking, like, all-time bullshitter. I know when people are fucking lying to me. Like, you know, you can't fuck with me, really. I mean, yes, I'm not, like, I'm not all street, or I grew up here for most of my life, but that, I still know. Like, I'm not stupid, you know? Like, I'm not saying it was like a big conspiracy, like, oh, all the money and all the time and energy, like, let's just fuck this girl. No, it's more just like a general, like, seeing me as beneath them. And also, like I said before, you know, the pharmacy, the psychiatry, like, everybody wants you to stay stuck in the system. So it's more from that perspective. It's more like keeping a dying person on life support. Like, that kind of mentality. It's like, we don't want her to wake up, but let's just keep her, like, keep the fluids going, keep the heart beating, all that kind of stuff. You know, as long as there's a pulse, that's all we care about. You know, it's kind of that. You know, so it's not like, I know it's not like a big conspiracy, but it's the mentality behind the help that I'm getting, that, like, you know, like, like, that's how it was. If it wasn't now, it would have been later, you know? Like, or it just kept on getting harder. Like, I would have had more and more resistance. I'd have had more and more backhanded compliments. I'd had more and more, just problems. And I'm not currently equipped, like the current help that I'm getting cannot facilitate that, especially when the help is part of the problem. So, you know, like, that's you know, so right now I'm trying to, I don't know how long it's going to take me. That's the problem with me. Is like, Yuka, most of the time I can calculate things and figure out things or whatever. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get to the point um where I can adjust for that and then go back to school with the correct help, or like how to properly prepare in a way that will actually be successful. So, and that will require me to reach out to different support systems and different like, you know, I'm gonna have to research and do all that kind of stuff and figure that kind of stuff out. In the meantime, you know, I got my to-do list. I gotta think, like, you know, I could do stuff. Like, um it's okay. But that was just the truth. Like, I saw it coming. I saw it coming. And I'm not I'm not ashamed that I crashed out, because it was bound to happen. It was bound to happen with the people around, like, and that's why I'm like, and I've been saying this for years. I've been saying this for years. So I know it in myself. So I don't know. Like, I don't know the answer to this. Like, I know it's wrong, but I don't know how to go about fixing it. Um so yeah. But like, I'm hopeful. Like, I know it will be figured out eventually. Um but like, I'm not too worried about it now cuz I have so much on my plate. Um it'll be sorted eventually, but But, I'm just trying to be chill, like, recovery and get everything organized and, dust up my pants and, get back up on the saddle, as best as I can. But anyway, yeah, that was a weird turn because I was just trying to talk about my relationship before, and like, yeah, that was like a really happy time. And I don't know if it was limerence. I don't know if it was like fake or like I don't know. Like maybe it wouldn't have ended up well anyway, but I was happy. And I miss that. I miss being like that, really like that, super happy with somebody and have it work out and stuff, or have it seemingly work out. Like it'd be great if the whole cheating thing wasn't part of the picture, but you know. But yeah. Well, like I said, our mentality was that of like we activated like our teenager selves in each other. So I don't know, like I've had different partners have like, I wouldn't say triggered, but brought out different things in me, like and like I don't think any of them were bad. Like even the bad relationships are like, they were all lessons. They were all lessons, and they taught me something. Um but I wish I could find something happy like that again, or like maybe not, maybe it doesn't even have to be like a partnership, but to have that kind of happiness again. I really want to experience that. But anyway, take care, be good, bye bye.